think it's loading everybody in now, right?
Yeah.
Appears to be.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can, just drop a note in the chat, just a yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So welcome to the Grow Mentorship Series, Create a 2025 Vision Board. I'm your host, Joanne Theriault-Fazio, National Sales Director at Proper Rate and your Grow Mentorship Director. Before we do get started, I just wanted to recognize a few things today. National Day of Mourning, as former President Jimmy Carter is laid to rest. And in other news, I wanted to mention the horrific fires in the LA area. And I wanted to remind everyone that we do have the Rate Companies Foundation, and we will drop a link to the foundation in the chat. If you know anyone affected by these fires who may need assistance, you can nominate them through the link. So I want to make sure that we recognize that as well. And then now on to the reason why we are gathered here today. For those of you joining us for the first time, GROW is a Rate Companies employee resource group designed to help empower and support women. And we do let the men join us on these mentorship series calls as well. It's nice to have them along. And then also today's mentorship series will be a little bit different than the ones we have done in the past. Instead of a panel where I lead a discussion, we are going to just work on creating vision boards. You can drop a note in the chat also and let us know if you plan on doing them virtually. That's how I will be doing them. And I think most of our other people on our panel today will actually be doing them the good old-fashioned way with scissors and a magazine. So you'll have a little bit of a mix of both. So we'd love to hear from you on how you plan on doing them. We have a great group of women on this call with us today from across multiple companies and across the country. And as they jump into talk, they will actually introduce themselves and what they do for the companies, which will be great. You'll get to know a lot of different people today. But in the meantime, I'm going to kick it off to our resident vision board expert. I think maybe we need to mute somebody. But I'm going to kick it off to our resident vision board expert, Tiffany Langdon, and she will get us started on everything.
Awesome. Okay. So let me just do that reminder just to make sure everyone self-mutes if you're not speaking, because we can have a little bit of distraction in the background. That would be amazing. So welcome, everybody. I know Joanne just kind of gave you a little bit of a lay of the land. Here in a moment, we are going to do some introductions of our Grow board. And then, of course, we'll also be introducing all of our panelists. But we decided that we'll just do that as we go through and start chit-chatting as we go through, and we'll have some prompts and questions, and we'll have some music in the background. So as we just naturally flow, everyone will have the chance to introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about what it is that everyone here does within Rate Companies. The other thing I want to mention before we really start to dive in, and if you're ready to go and you know what you're doing, just let yourself go and have some fun with it. But in order to get prepared for the vision board, what you're going to need if you're going to do a physical board like I am doing and some of the others that we have on the call, you'll need a poster board or like some type of background in order to tape or glue everything onto your board. You'll need glue or tape. So what I use are these little like glue sticks that I have. And this is really easy for you to clip out something from your magazine, glue it on the back, and just place it wherever you want on the board. Of course, you'll need some magazines. So I actually had to go to the store today because I didn't have a lot of magazines laying around. So I went and picked up some magazines for myself to clip through. I also, just as an idea, if you have anything like this was from from like one of our like scrapbook stores or like craft stores. It's it's kind of like it just gives you like a bunch of like colorful like little backgrounds, and like you can flip out like sidelines and borders if you want to do that even within your board. I think those are a lot of fun. So stickers, quotes, magazine clippings, anything maybe that you've printed from the internet, that even works too. That would be great. If you're doing a digital board like Joanne, you're using Canva, right? Is that what you use?
Yeah, I use Canva, but then I like pull from Pinterest and different quote sites and stuff, but mostly all in Canva.
but it all ends up on Canva, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also use PowerPoint. You can use Pinterest if you want to use that as well for more of your online programs. And there are some image resources that I think we've linked in some of the messages I think that we've sent out, like pexels.com. And there's another one, and we can put those in the chat too. If anybody is just looking for some other images, we can put those so that everybody can grab it easily. But the one thing I want to mention about vision boarding in general, and I think it's important if anybody here is doing it for the first time, like if you've never created a vision board, sometimes people are like, wait a minute, what is it that we're doing? What is a vision board again? So really what you're having the ability to do is to clip out images or anything that is inspiring that can help you be reminded of or work towards any of your goals or intentions that you're setting for 2025. And what happens is whenever you create something that you have the ability to look at visually, you notice that more often, and you have the ability to keep your goals in the front of your mind and to constantly think about it. And the other thing I think it's important to think about when manifesting is all about getting yourself on a vibration link or a frequency wave that is positive and that is inspiring. And then kind of like how some people talk about, like, what you put out is what you get back in. That's what this is all about. Just by simply putting something on paper, reminding yourself of your goals can help you bring those goals to fruition in this year. So that's all I have to say about that. If anybody else wants to add in any of your ideas or anything like that, I think that would be a great thing to do too. We're ready to get started.
All right, let's do this. So I think some of the things that we came up with too when we were kind of talking about this vision board, because we did do this a few years ago, were just different questions that we kind of want answered when we are putting them together. One that came up was, what do I want my life to look like? And I think the whole, like, just kind of trying to map that out. For me, I personally blocked it off into different segments, like family, business, health, different things. So I would love to hear from, I don't know, Jamie or Kate or Tiffany. I see you're on screen. Any of you want to, I think introduce yourselves too, who you are, what you do for the companies, and you want to share with us, with the group?
Sure, sounds great. My name's Jamie Joyce. I'm the EVP of Operations at Guaranteed Rate Affinity. I actually did this a couple of years ago. I want to say it was almost 2. And I loved it. It was the very first time. It was really overwhelming to begin with because I was kind of like, oh, I don't really know. And then it made me stop and think about every day I'm going through and I'm doing, kid drop off and pick up and dinners and, just all the stuff you have to get done in a day. And I think that can sometimes absorb you, right, along with the day-to-day business aspect. So sitting down, deciding what I really wanted and trying to not just manifest it, but put it first and foremost. Last time I did like a small canvas and I kept it up. It's in my direct view, right? So every day while I'm working, I can see it. It's actually my dining room. My family can see it. They do call me out sometimes on things if I'm not eating healthy, because that was on my list, which is kind of fun. But it really helped me. When I looked back at 2023s and 2024s, I accomplished a significant amount of what I was looking to do. So this time I did it. I didn't go as cool as the online one, although I've tried that, but I really like doing it. It's huge too. My board is really, really big now. Probably because my vision's going a little bit, right? But I broke mine into 4 categories, right? So at GRA, we talk a lot about, the different sectors of your life and making sure that, you're being true to you and everything else. So I broke it down by body, being, business, and then balance, right? And with each one, some of them cross over. Some of them I kind of cheated a little bit, guys. I actually ordered off of Amazon. They had a full magazine vision board book. That was
cool.
Super helpful. It was like, I don't know, $12, and it was delivered same day. And I was super excited about that. And
Cool.
when I was going through mine, I actually left room because I think that your vision board can expand with, you know, we all have ups and down years and things like that. So I left a little bit of extra space on mine this year. And just in case I do change a couple of things or I want to add different things in. So that's kind of how I set mine up. I don't know if anybody else wants to go too.
I love that. I'd be happy to go really fast. So I do my vision boards on shuffles. I also like a digital one too. I'm going to drop it for everybody here in the chat so you can see a sample of a vision board I created 6 months ago. I like to create a vision board several times a year because life changes, as Jamie knows and just said. She was talking about how things change, and I think that's so true. And so when I put together a vision board, I think about like fun things that I want to do, like maybe go to or aspirational or journeys that I want to go on, taking care of my mind, my body, right? And then like maybe relationships around me. And then just like, I think visualization is so important. Like, where do I want to go? Maybe career-wise or purpose-wise within my life, right? And just put out things that kind of go along with that. And then I like to do it as a collage of pictures so that I can just see kind of that goal. Like maybe it's getting on a plane, or maybe it's going somewhere, or that kind of thing. And then I think I forgot to introduce myself. I'm sorry. I am Kate Amore. I am the head of product development here. I support all of the different companies, so I apologize for not saying who I am. And I just started talking. Yeah, so those are the ways I think about it, and I dropped a sample board for you guys to check out, and you can see one that I put together.
So Kate, how often do you go back to your board then? I guess what you're saying that and Jamie's saying that, I just never thought about that before. I think it's such a great idea.
Yeah, so I created this digital one, and then I take a picture of it and I put it on my opening screen on my phone so that every time I open my phone, I see my vision board. Yeah. And then I like rearranged the icons in my phone around like positive affirmations I was focusing on, like I am blessed, I am worthy, I am abundant, to reinforce that neuro-linguistic programming, which neuro-linguistic programming is this idea that you're going to keep repeating a future state that you want to be in, like you're there today. And it's also a manifestation technique. And so I use those things together in order to reinforce my board and then have it in front of me all the time. And then as my vision changes or as it adapts, I just make a new shuffle and put it on there again. So
that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I changed mine a little bit because it is first and foremost right in my view all the time. There are times where I'm like, somebody will say something like Kate just said, right? Or we go on a conference and I come back and I'm like, oh, wow, wait a minute, I really like that. And I'll dig out a book, or, you know, sometimes I'll just write it with a marker, right? Like if it's just a word. So I really enjoy doing that too.
Yeah. And Kate, you always have really great, I think, is it Wednesday wisdom that you do?
I do. I do Wednesday wisdom, Monday motivation, and then Friday I'm in love.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you aren't connected to Kate on LinkedIn, you need to, because it's like you're always just like really like motivated after you read her posts. I always love them.
Hey, Kate, so on this thing that you did with shovel or whatever, it's shuffle. Oh, I thought it was shovel. Is that picture, when I follow that link, is a picture on your phone? Is that your board?
That's my old one. I have a new one now. So this is, I'm showing you the one that I used last time. And then I've created another one. So I've manifested this one and now I'm making it into another one. I've created this one that I'm sharing with you, is one I put together 6 months ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And yes, I love your LinkedIn things too.
Oh, thank you.
If anybody finds some like really cool stuff in your magazines or whatever, if you want to share, feel free to put it up in your camera. I'd love to see what you all are coming up with.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I did kind of like Kate talked about was, you know, sometimes we're kind of hard on ourselves, right? It's like, oh, I didn't get this done, or I didn't get through that yet, or I still have to do this, and right at, I don't want to say checklist driven, right? Because we hope not to be like that. But a couple of the sayings on mine is, really about progress, not perfection. And also, you've got this, and look how far you've come already, right? So I try to put a lot of that, and it carries on into different categories as well.
Does anybody not do categories? I guess I'd be curious too. I just think like most women, well, and I know we have some men on here as well, but like I feel like we probably more think in terms of categories. Like you're always multitasking, right? I want to know how many people also put something about work-life balance on their vision board, or if it's just me. Is it just me?
That's a constant aspiration, Joanne. That is just a regular state of existence that we should all be striving toward, right?
Right.
That's a good goal.
I would love to know if anybody thinks that it actually does exist. I would love to know.
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah. I've worked hard to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Lots of meditating later.
Yay. And there's so many things we can focus on too. So does anybody have, Jamie, you mentioned the food, the nutrition thing on yours. Did you do that again this time around?
I did. I'm a terrible cook. Let me just toss that out there, right? And so I always go for whatever's most convenient, what is ever, I can pick up and feed the kids real quick. So I did put on there, some of the ad, like I actually cut out an ad for, the more nutritious like food delivery things, because you can just pop them in the oven. They're pre-cooked. And that way I know my kids are at least getting some nutrition in the day. But I also I didn't just do nutrition. I also did, it's really big, so it's going to be hard to see, but under body, I think a lot of us think, oh, you have to go to the gym, you have to, right, like, or do this or do that. And I put in some just fun ones, like roller skating and dance. There's a picture of somebody dancing by themselves. I love doing that. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's also good exercise if you ever do just dance, right, on the Switch. But it's also okay to make, working out fun. So I like that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've resorted to dance parties in the morning to get our toddler out of bed. So
that's awesome.
I think that they're supposed to, like, dance parties are supposed to make your family happy and everything. I think that that's great. The dance thing.
Now, Joanne, you didn't mention the toddler thing when you said, do people believe in work-life balance? So I'm going to admit I do not have small children at home. I may have 4 pets, but I do not have small children. So that may be a reason why I think there is work-life balance, because I do not have a toddler.
Yeah, I have a toddler and a 3-month-old. So yes. So,
all right, forget about it.
Yeah. You're going to be working on that for a while.
Yeah.
It goes so fast, though. Really, the blink of an eye. Everybody says enjoy it, but that's one thing that, if I felt like I had a vision board back then, I feel like I would have done better managing my time. So.
That's also really good to know too. Yeah. I think we have some of our Grow board members on here too. I don't know, Tiffany, do you have the slide still? Maybe we can just pull it up so we can introduce some of our people, or some of our Grow leaders. I don't know. Natalie, I can't see everyone because we have so many people on, which is awesome and amazing, but I can't see everybody's picture. I do see Natalie, and I don't know if she wants to chime in with anything.
For sure. I see Tracy's on, and
all of a sudden I just hear your music now. We're jamming.
Jamming. You hear my music. Yeah. Okay.
Our dance party.
Yeah, we have a few members on the board members on the call. Kristen, I know you're on. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi guys. I apologize in advance. Speaking of work-life balance, I have no work or life today. I'm trying to do both with my kids at home. It is snowing in Dallas, and that half an inch shuts down the whole town. So here we are. So I apologize. You keep seeing me go in and out of camera because my 4-year-old keeps running in here trying to wave at you guys. But I'm Kristen Dale in Dallas, Texas, an SVP at Rate. Been at the company for 6 years. I am new to this whole vision board thing, so I'm just trying to learn from you all, and it sounds like it's something I need to do. You guys have done a really good job just talking about how to get started. Maybe I can ask you experts, what are the top 3 things you try to put on the board to make it effective?
All right,
I'll
I'll go.
I'll throw
Um,
into that.
I'm gonna say
because-
vacation. A vacation.
Vacation, yeah. Always travel. Always travel.
Vacation.
Yeah. I actually, in the past, and a couple of years ago, I went back to a vision board that I had created that I'd put away because the year was over. And then when I went back, how much I'd actually accomplished on that. And I remember when I was originally clipping things out for that particular vision board, that I was just kind of choosing things because I liked the way that they looked, and it wasn't necessarily like something that I thought that I was going to do, but I was like, oh, I like this. I think it'll look good on the board. I'm just going to put it on there. Or some words that I thought were inspiring and I didn't quite know why. And then afterwards, it happened, and it's just it's wild how that works, you know what I mean? So sometimes I don't even have a rhyme or a reason. I just add something because I like it, and then see what happens,
I love that. That's so intuitive, Tiffy. I think that's so important that we just follow our instincts, and it's not about getting your vision board perfect. It's about having fun with it and making something that's visually inspiring for you, and organize it however you see fit and be creative with it. There's no right or wrong way to make a vision board. It's just about putting your dreams out there and resonating with things that feel cool and feel good and feel beautiful to you or life sustaining, and then letting that be just in your vision and what you're able to see every day, and that just makes it part of your reality, and then you'd be surprised by what can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and you just said the word creative too, Kate, and it made me think, like, if you are doing this with us today, like, you probably have some sort of creativity inside of you that maybe doesn't get out a whole lot being in mortgage or real estate, like everybody is with us. So it's like, I don't get to use my creative side very often. So I like the idea of having that creative, just the aesthetic look of it all just in front of you or on your phone or really, really large like Jamie's.
Yeah. I love Jamie's, and then it's fun to do it on the phone too, right? Like, they're all good ideas, and then you can have one in your office, one on your phone. Yeah.
Here's something too that I'm going to add for my new year, and that is more self-care. Massage. I'm going to do like at least one a month is what my goal is for this year. I love getting some good body work or massage. I do acupuncture every month, but that'd be nice to add to it too.
Ooh, Tiffany, I want to add acupuncture because I get a medical massage, and that's been like life-changing.
Yeah.
Such an awesome part of my self-care routine, getting like a myofascial deep tissue. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It made such a difference.
I'm gonna have to try that one.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, all that stress you think is showing up as some pain somewhere, you get the right person to work that out, and you're gonna feel like a new woman.
Yep.
Someone just asked about our grow board, the team, if we're all in Chicagoland or different states. So I want to make sure we answered that. Myself and Natalie, who you see on screen, and Tracy, who I think she's here.
I'm here.
So maybe she can say a few words. We're all in Chicagoland. You just met Kristen, who's in Dallas. So, and then we can let Lisa chat next. So I don't know, TA, you want to say a few words?
Well, if Lisa's going to chat, let her chat.
Okay, or I'll let Lisa chat.
Hey there, Lisa Messler. I've been here 3 years. I'm a divisional manager, and I live in North Carolina. And so I cover from West Virginia down to Florida, and that's a new role for me. So this vision exercise is actually pretty fun. So 2 of the things that I didn't get done last year that are on my vision board for this year is I do want to run a 25-minute sub 5K. I don't know if that's like tactical and that might driven or if that's like a vision, or of 47. And then, don't make fun of me, Kate. I want to take like tap dance or ballet. But, and partially because I'm not a graceful person. So tap is probably because I never took those kind of things as a kid. So I thought it'd be fun to do something that's completely outside of what I typically do. I'm more of a freestyler. So those are two of my like personal visions. Um, as for professional, it's just kind of the usual things. I would love to get more involved, and I'll probably be tapping Tiffany and Kate for this, like into the coaching aspect of bringing in my undergrad degree in psychology, and I'm passionate about mental wellness and how that relates in the corporate sector and how I can bring that to my team. So that's kind of where I'm at. And yes, we are supposed to get snow here, but I don't know. It's like probably a half an inch down here in North Carolina. So the world is shutting down here as well, and it hasn't even started yet. So, but that's how it rolls down here. But that's about all I have from beautiful North Carolina.
I love it. I'm Tracy Anastasia. I am the Executive Vice President of Operations for Proper Rate, and I've been with the companies for 8 years. I don't typically do a vision board. I actually write goals down, so I write it down and I look at it, but I'm having fun with the vision board. It's different. It's new. I like it. I love the idea that it's on your phone all the time because I feel like if you look at it all the time, it's like just going to be there. I love that. I love that you're going to do a dance class because I was just telling someone I wanted to do a hip hop class. Ooh. So not ballet, but I wanted to I want to be one of those people where they're like, look at her go. You know, yeah. Like I thought that would be fun.
Maybe we could have a recital.
We could have a grow recital. That would be so exciting.
Or a rate company's like talent show. That could be a thing.
Oh my God,
you know what? We're all so talented. I am sure it would be amazing.
Oh, you definitely do not want me involved in that.
No, you are the one we want involved in that.
No, yeah. There is no rhythm here.
Yeah, we definitely want you involved. That's going to make it so much more fun.
You actually have previous experience.
Not with tap or dancing.
Well, but you have a talent for sure. I'm sure of it.
Mortgage.
Get on my vision board, Tracy, so we can manifest that happening.
Manifest it. I also think the creativity thing is interesting that Joanne said, because I think we feel like we're not creative in our daily lives, but we really are. You're doing dance parties every day. I love a dance party. It's the best. And like, I think like for me, like my shoes and my clothes, those are like, they're like fun and creative for me too. So I think we're all creative in our own way on a daily basis, but this is extra fun and creative. So I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm so glad to be able to share it with all of you. So thanks for having me. Oh, someone just said, can someone do stand-up? We do have a VP who can do stand-up.
Oh. Yeah, we have Jackie.
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking you, Kate.
I challenge any or all of you to put that on your board as a thing to do, because it is seriously a life-changing. You will feel so freaking empowered, even on the nights you bomb. And I didn't, because that's when you get off the stage and you're like, yeah, so none of you other people did it, right? So I'm putting that on my board because I haven't done it in a while, and I'm putting it back on my board.
I love it. You're so funny. I want to go to your show.
Yeah, I feel like we should.
I'll send you my YouTube so you can see the last one.
I would love it.
Please do. I would love to see that.
Me too.
Yeah, we need to put it in the chat.
We'll put it in the chat right now. Okay.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
One thing I also list on mine is that in 2023 I added it was what are you grateful for? So every morning I put in my I actually journaled it, but I put it in my workbook. I have a great planner, and it says the top 3 things you're grateful for today. That's actually life-changing too. I don't know if anybody else does that. You know, it's easy to walk in and think, oh God, I have 100 emails and I have to do this or I have to do that. And you go right into power mode of what has to be done in a day versus being like, hey, you know what? I'm grateful that today I got to work it out, or like, you know, I got grocery shopping done, or whatever little things it could be. It doesn't always have to be the same, but that's one thing I always put right in the middle of my board.
Oh, I love that, Jamie. I also like to start my Friday team meetings with my team, and we go around and each talk about something we're grateful for too. It's just a way to sneak it in. And it could even be like, I'm grateful for coffee or for sun. It doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
finding little opportunities for gratitude, I think, really changes the tenor of the day and gives you more things to be grateful for.
Yeah, someone had asked about the top 3 things that they put on their vision board. And I always start kind of with a mind map concept of big circles of, you know, health, relationships, family, and then off family is kids, brother, you know, and it just helps you kind of create a more expansive set of things. And besides cutting out of magazines or printing, did anybody talk about using AI to create graphics for your vision board?
No.
That's a good idea.
So I used ChatGPT to do images, and this is me helping my son with the down payment on a house.
Oh.
And this is my ex-husband helping my daughter with finances, because he hasn't done that very much. So that's a vision that, and I created these both in ChatGPT using the imaging aspects. So that could be something fun you can do to get the image like more in line with what's in your head.
What a great idea.
That's cool.
That's
yes.
awesome.
That's
Was
creative
there a
problem
website you
solving.
used for that, or was it just?
So ChatGPT, you know, the AI software, it does images now. It used to be
Oh.
Dolly, that was the image software. Now it's integrated into ChatGPT. So if you pay for the ChatGPT, you can say, create me an image of, like I did a whole let's get ready to refi campaign, right? With that theme and like boxing match. So I used that to create images to give to my social media gal to post. So it's pretty great to the graphic aspects of that now.
Awesome, thanks.
Oh, and this is going to be my future husband and me on the beach with the charcuterie board, and I'm really skinny in the picture.
Shan, you are the best. I love it.
I love it.
That is good. Create that dream, my friend. That is awesome.
I'm doing something a little bit different this year. I'm Natalie. I do grow operations with these lovely women, and normally I'm like TA. I don't normally do vision boards, but I do write my goals down, and I have had this running list in my notes app of things that I've been wanting to get done, like little projects here and there, like making a photo book of like a trip that I've been on, and like I have a canvas in my living room I've been wanting to paint for the last couple of years. It's hanging blank actually, and I'm always just like, oh, I don't have time to do it. So this year I kind of made it one of my goals, and now I'm putting it into my vision board, picking like 12 different things, and each month I choose one and I say, all right, I'm just going to get one of those things done, just keeping it as basic as I can, and then committing at least 1 hour a week to moving that project forward. So I'm just saying, all right, I can, you know, take it in bite-sized chunks and make it more realistic and not make excuses for my blank canvas anymore. So it's kind of cool to see it actually on, you know, go from a list to an actual visual thing, which I'm a very, very visual person. So I think this is helpful.
Well, I think those of you who are doing your vision boards electronically are definitely onto something, because I'll share. I had to go buy some magazines because I didn't have any magazines around. Do y'all know how much magazines cost these days? Oh my gosh. I bought 3 magazines and she was like, $47. I was like, wait, for what? I'm getting through, because I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see the little bitty price above the barcode at the bottom, you know? And I was like, wait, what? $45 for, or $47 for 3 magazines? That's crazy, right?
Amazon, the way to go. Same day
Amazon.
delivery.
Yeah.
And there were a ton of choices, I will tell you. Anybody have anything on their vision board that we haven't mentioned yet? I thought the tap dancing was really cool.
So I've been using this app called Sunnyside to limit the amount of wine I drink per week, right? So it gives you could either cut down how many times per week you drink or how many drinks you have per time you drink. So I'm going to do visual pictures of the amount of, like, I'm going to put wine glasses on there with the number of them that I allow myself to have so that I could see it. It's actually a very cool app if you are someone who wants to, like, they're not proponents of going sober. They're proponents of lowering it based on what you want to do. And it's a very cool app, and every day you get a text, how many did you have? How many do you want to have? So I'm going to put it on my vision board too.
That's cool.
Oh, I love that.
Just in case anybody, 61 people on this call want to drink less wine.
I do that app as well. It's awesome. And it's really, not that I ever thought I had a problem, but just, you know, it's especially catering to realtors and stuff. It's very often that they invite you, oh, let's go grab a glass of wine. And I'm like, I just feel tired after. Why am I doing this? So, and it just allows me to compete with myself. Like I set that goal and I'm like, oh, today's a dry day. Sorry, I can't.
Right.
It really is helpful.
It does not mean you have to have a problem. I just know that the next day I'm not as ready to go, and stomach, you know, you get to a
I don't
certain
get up and work
age
out.
and your body doesn't like it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Downloading that now. Sometimes you're right, Kristen, like you lose track of it too. You're like, wait, how many did I have this week? I have no idea.
Yep.
And when you are tracking it, it's like, whoa, wow.
And I learned something about myself. One glass isn't me. Like, it's either none or I'm in. So you learn. All of a sudden you're like, did I really? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get back to reading in 2025. You know, it's so hard to pick up a book these days and finish a book. So I've got a goal to read at least one book a month. So I used to have lots of excuses as to why, oh, I read so much in college. Like, that was so long ago. So I'm going to try and read more this year.
Do you do Goodreads? Are you on that app?
No.
It's like social media for book nerds. It's great because you can connect to your friends and then you can see what they're reading and if they liked it and get recommendations and everything. We actually have a Grow Goodreads page too that you can join, that when we had a book club, we kind of put it on pause for the past year, but it's great. Just like can connect with everybody and see what everybody else is reading. Also, you can set goals and it kind of like tracks for you if you're not reading as much. I also have reading on my list for this year because I was an avid reader until I had 2 little humans to take care of, and this past year did not read nearly as much as I wanted, or even books that I really enjoyed. I only enjoyed 3 of the books I read this past year. That's not good. So Goodreads is a good one.
Thanks.
Also, when the AI came up, I put AI in all the apps and systems that I pay for business and whatever. I'm like, I need to make sure that I'm actually utilizing all of those apps and systems. So that's on my list too.
AI is on my list too.
Same here.
And I use
My
Jasper.
January financial update to cancel all of the memberships. Anybody else have to do that to cancel all the memberships they swear they were going to do last year and just never canceled?
Yes, and then I signed up for a couple of those things that do it for you, but it's not. Has anybody found one that really works? Like I'll admit it, I use the Rocket one, and it requires you to put in so much information. I have so many things I'm paying for. I don't even know if I'm paying for like Paramount through through my provider and through Paramount directly. You know what I mean? So does anybody have like a trick as to how they're doing it? 100. Libby? Is it Libby?
I actually, on mine, I went to my iPhone and went under subscriptions, and it's actually, you do it for free. I'm bringing mine up right now, but because typically I do everything, online anyway, but I had the same problem. I was paying for Netflix through my phone and through my cable provider. So I was like, what am I doing? So I did find a lot of crossover in that way, but I just went under settings. I also realized that my children had access to some of my credit cards. When I started looking, I noticed my Uber, I didn't fully comb a credit card bill. And one summer, my daughter last year had, she's like, Mom, it's the best thing. You just hit order and Uber shows up. And I'm really generous with the tip. And it was a whole month before I caught it. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody hits a button. Like, she's 17. I'm like, I'll kill you. So you can do your family's one right there too, under setting. That was, like I said, that one was eye-opening to me.
I'm just listening to Natalie's music now. I can hear
I know, right?
I love it.
Have a
I
dance
love
party. Yeah. So like one of my favorite things to do is not only create the board, but then I also like to create like vision statements around different areas of my life. So like Jamie was talking about like kind of having different areas or even like mind mapping, but I like to talk about and like come up with a vision statement for like relationships, how I want to think about my mindset, like what maybe my overall goal is for holistic living, and then like taking care of myself in different ways and kind of lay that out as like a vision statement around each one of those things. And then I save it every year. And when I come back and I look at it again in the next year, I'm surprised by how much I actually accomplished along that, even though some of it seems so like, visionary and out there. Cause I was like, had set a goal for myself this year of doing more in thought leadership. And then I just had somebody mention that I had done, put together that program on my LinkedIn pages and stuff. And so it's just amazing how you can look back and be like, oh, wow, look at that. I created that and I didn't, it's amazing to be able to go back and see that you set that goal for yourself and maybe 80% of it you actually got done. Feels good.
It does.
Yeah. I like to combine both.
I think it's also an important call out because you said the 80% thing, Kate. It's okay if you don't do 100%.
Agree. Letting go of the need for moral perfectionism is so huge. Somebody said that to me because like when you think about it, it's not just about being perfect in all the things you do, but it's about this idea that you have to be perfect in your thoughts and like, completely sober if you set that goal, like that kind of stuff, this like perfectionism. And it doesn't have to be. You can be soberish. You can eat good most of the time. It's letting go of that need to say I always have to be perfect because that's not fun. and that's not a great way to live, and it's not attainable. But doing great the majority of the time is an attainable goal, and it leaves you room to have cake on your birthday.
Yeah.
Or have a glass of wine if it's really a good glass of wine and it's a nice one. It's taken me a long time to get to a place where I can have one glass of wine, but I can, and I like it, right? And I make sure it's worth it.
I love the ish. Ish is always a good
Sober-ish.
thing. It's ish.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sober-ish. I leave myself room to be human and to human and enjoy my journey.
And not beat myself up when I don't hit it, right? Like, I'm actually reading Grace Over Perfection right now. I don't know if anybody's read that, but it's pretty good so far.
What is it, Jamie?
Yeah.
Grace Over Perfection.
Oh, that sounds great.
I'm going to add it to my Goodreads.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love that. When we have grace for ourselves, it's amazing how good we can feel. And I think it's so easy to beat ourselves up as women and to have such high standards, because you guys are all so high performing. That's why you're here. And high performing women have high standards. And I think it's good to have grace.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with the social media nowadays, where you look on and everybody's got the perfect aspect of their life, right? The one area of their home that's probably clean and their kids look amazing and everything's done. And versus you're looking around your own home, you're like, oh, that needs to be fixed or whatever. So.
Cheers to authenticity. Let's show up as ourselves authentically this year. That's certainly something that I've been working on is being in my truth and being authentic.
Let's celebrate making that normal. We need to make that normal.
Agreed.
Yeah. Let's make it normal to be ourselves. To be the
you
same
also,
person
Kate,
inside and outside.
You said something earlier about holistic living. One thing I am so into right now is like thinking about what products I'm buying for my home or what I'm using as far as like with my beauty regimen and products, or even like, you know, being interested in what ingredients are in the food that I'm purchasing, because it's just so crazy what we're allowing to go into our bodies. So I'm really into that as far as like really paying attention. And it's funny because the magazine that I have must be all about that, because that's all that I keep seeing. So that's a big part of my life right now, and will continue to be through going forward. But I'm going to put a focus on it for 25.
I love that you brought that up, Tiffany. I just made my husband throw out all the plastic cutting boards. It's like you see one thing on social media, you're like, we should not have plastic cutting boards and like, you know, plastic colanders and just things that you don't even think about until it's like in front of your face, glaringly obvious.
Yeah. All those microplastics.
Yeah. Being conscious and purposeful, right? Doing things with intention, being intentional about how we're spending, what we're eating, what we're doing, and how we're using our time. That intentionality can make such a difference when we just set that intention of paying attention to those things. Even those that can just be a goal in and of itself, and then having grace with yourself if you frack it up, it's okay.
Yeah. I found a little blurb. I don't know if you can see it. It says mindful and intuitive eating. But that goes in everything, not just like what you eat, but it's so important. And I'm going to come into a little bit more I'm going to go back into doing some artwork. I do art like at home. I have a big studio that I have to move around my house because I have no room, but like I'm going to get back into that this year.
That's the creative side. Natalie, you mentioned that too, that you have the big blank canvas that you want to finish.
It's been sitting there for 5 years. It's time. It's on my board now.
I love that. I set the goal of finishing things I started this year. This is a year of completion.
I love that idea.
Yeah, finishing things I started.
And throwing away things I don't use, right?
Yes.
Like,
ooh, that's a good one.
Releasing
Clear that clutter. Yes. You got to release so more things can come.
Yes. Making space.
I just finished and I know for those of you who have done like the Artist Way with me or like any of the other things that offerings that I host, but I often talk about there's a feng shui practice where you get rid of 29 things every day for 7 days in a row. And I do that so
wow.
I just finished it on the 7th because I did it through the 1st through the 7th. And it can be something, if you're like, I don't have that much in my closet, it doesn't have to be like clothes or shoes or anything like that. It could be like cleaning out your junk drawer and getting rid of like old pins or paper clips or things that are just like the junk that's holding you down. And the idea, just as you all were mentioning, the idea of it is when you let go of all that stuff from your house, you're making room for more abundance or more things to come in. But right now, you're just like so stuffed. You don't have room for anything else. So it's really important just to get rid and clear of what you no longer need.
Yeah, you
I
need
love
to do that with people too.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Yes,
Yeah, that's hard, but it is on my
it
list
is.
of yeah.
I just downloaded like a cluttered, messy floor picture, and I bet you anything now my phone's gonna just keep sending me like decluttering ads and everything. That always happens. That's a good one though. I'm gonna add it to my board.
Mm-hmm. I said I wanted to learn about feng shui this year. I bought myself a feng shui book. I'm gonna sit and read it.
It's interesting.
That sounds like fun.
I also had on mine, invest a little bit more, right? Whether it's, I had that under business, right? Making sure that if I put X amount of dollars in my bank account, I spend X amount. If I cut that a little bit more, just trying to set myself up at the beginning of the year to make sure I'm always, thriving and not as concerned, right? It takes stress off your plate and making sure you're doing that financial checkup and
That's such a great plan, having financial awareness. And when we put time and effort into money, money likes it and it multiplies for us. Um, and that is a true statement. And always making sure we have multiple different ways to create financial security for ourselves, I think is so important and underrated. I personally own several businesses, and I just think it's important that we do that and invest in ourselves and invest in creating multiple different streams of things that either we enjoy, our hobbies, that can help supplement, what we're doing here. So
That would be a great grow call
yeah,
for the
there we
future.
go.
agreed.
That would be a great grow call. I agree.
And for me, I'm on the flip side, kind of like the wine thing, which is getting better at not buying crap I don't need.
Yes.
Right. So,
Yeah.
when things are great, it's so easy to just, but, all of a sudden now it's like, oh, look at that. I really wish I didn't buy that because, this year's a little tighter. And one of my girlfriends told me how she was raised. She would go into a store, her and her siblings with her mom, and they would say, I want this, I want this. And her mom would just say, very calmly, let's just talk about it. Will you be okay if we leave the store without it? Like, will you be okay? And she, to this day, she's a 50-year-old woman with a 5-year-old kid, and that's how and he doesn't scream and cry every time they go into a store that they have to have it. And so I grew up in a different way, which is you want it, get it. And so for me, I want to be more mindful about what I spend, because I've always learned I could take $1 and make it 2 and then spend 3. And so I want to go in the other direction, Kate.
Yeah.
Great.
But that you said something that's very wise that goes back to where we were originally, which is intentionality and being intentional with how we're investing our time and money and resources. And when we're intentional in that way, we are able to take that time to think about, is it something we really need? Because I think we all have those opportunities. We look back and realize we're investing our time, our energy, like all these different things about ourselves. And are we investing them in things that are life-giving and affirming and helping us? Or are we putting them in things that are draining us and not giving back? And I think that's an important thing to do. And whether it's people, places, things, or situations, you don't know what it could be, but being open to that and open to that change.
Yeah.
How's everyone else on the call doing with your vision boards? How's everybody else? Going okay?
I think I'm done for the moment.
You done?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yes.
I could figure it out. Hold on. Because I did it on shuffle, which was totally new to me. So I did. Ooh, where's my camera? Don't
Get
know
it,
where
Wendy.
my camera is. Right here. Can you? Well, you probably can't see it. Nope. All my messages. Probably can't see much.
Oh, that looks gorgeous. I love it with the pink.
That is my pink cancer survivor butterfly.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Love
We just want to
that.
keep it going in the right direction.
Yes.
And then I too have a second business, Kate, just like Kate, you did, because I believe that you should always have money coming in from somewhere. And, you know, I was raised where we didn't. And then I also like the skincare one that you talked about knowing what's in your product. I do that, and that's one of my businesses. So if you're interested, let me know. I won't put it on here, but it's amazing what you find
Put it
in
in
your
there, Wendy. I
products.
would love for you to. Feel free to put it in, and we can all take a look as we wish.
Are you
Be
sure?
great. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put my link in there. But thank you.
I'm almost done. I took the travel, I love to travel. So I created these little chits for certain parts of the year. So I can remember where I went, and you know how when you see a board when you tear off the thing. So yeah, I created that kind of mindset of don't forget to go places and do things. So I'm probably
I
as
love
far
that.
as I can get for now.
Awesome.
That's amazing. I can't wait to hear about your travels and your amazing adventures.
Who's dancing? We can do our own dance party here. Come on, Jamie.
Is Lisa gonna dance with me?
I'm just curious if anybody else does I call it the business mullet, right? Where you're I have a walking treadmill under my desk, so I'm in my sneakers and my workout pants, and then when I have to get on camera, I'll toss on a nice shirt. But I'm always ready for a dance party, right?
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
I'm just happening to say hello from Park Ridge. We've got a box of magazines here. We're doing some digital, some physical. We did some worksheets, and we got some snacks. We are just rocking the vision boards over here.
Oh, awesome, Erin.
Awesome.
Thanks, Erin. I love that.
Vision board party.
Train going by.
Oh, sorry.
Always get to hear the train in the background. I love it. Always makes me miss it.
Is it that loud when you're there too? Do you feel? I don't ever feel like I hear it that loudly when I'm in the office.
Oh, I'm at home. I live
Oh, okay.
there. Yes.
In the office.
So train
So
at
it
the office,
depends.
train at home.
It depends where you are in the office, though. If
Oh.
you're certain offices, you really hear it.
Yeah, but not in our suite.
Not
I
in
don't
ours,
Really
no.
hear it. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Jackie, I'm going to add charity work to my board. I think that's a great one. I didn't think about that one.
That is a good one. No one brought that up. That is a really good one.
You know, it is, because you always feel so good afterwards, and it's always on my mind, but then I never do it. And so the vision board, hopefully will get me to do it.
I think too, I think this chat stays open, right, Natalie? So as people finish their vision boards, one thing that would be really cool is just drop a picture of it in too, so we can all check each other's boards out and I don't know. I would love for somebody to hold me accountable to my board too. So we can check in with each other once in a while.
That's a great idea.
I love it. We should do this again in 6 months.
Agree. We should make several a year. That's always a good time to put positive energy towards betterment and bringing our visions to life.
It would be cool too if like people have vacations on their board and they take them to be able to put like the picture of you with on that vacation on your board too. So it helps you like, oh, I did get this one done, or I did that one.
All right. Well, I think we're coming up on time here too. So
wow, we are.
I don't know. For those of you who finished your boards during this hour, I'm super impressed with you because I feel like I was like really searching the right pictures to get the right look. So hopefully mine will be done soon. But thank you to our amazing, wonderful, awesome panelists in our Grow board, and also to Natalie for helping set everything up for us as per usual, keeping us organized. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It was awesome. It was fun.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.